Very Katie Price. Katie is outspoken. She is going to say what she feels and she doesn't really care who hears it.
Well, this is the thing. This week, Reid entered the chat.
It's all in the hands of the lawyers.
No, I'm obsessed. Is this whole circus a publicity stunt gone wrong?
I judge anyone who carries a Labubu on their bag.
I sometimes feel like this show is the ultimate cockroach.
They said, I can see that happening, which means it's happening.
It's a Showbiz Fix exclusive, guys. This is Showbiz Fix, where the Sun Showbiz team give you the inside scoop on our biggest celebrity stories, exclusive gossip, and the lowdown on everything you're loving this week. We've got a mad exclusive on Oasis, there's more chaos on Strictly, and gird your loins, we're going to be diving into Katie Price versus everyone. Guys, I feel like the noughties called and we're all the way back there when Katie Price was literally every spit and cough of what we did in Showbiz reporting.
Yes.
But we just can't help it, can we?
No, I'm obsessed.
So this is obviously all blown up over her daughter, The Princess Diaries. She has her new reality series, which is doing really well on ITV2. But it's obviously brought everything back up. Amanda, talk us through what's brought us up to this point.
Okay, so it is all from that documentary or docuseries that Princess is doing. So she's just turned 18 and you see all of that on this. The Princess Diaries is shot right up to #1 on ITVX. And Katie basically just got the hump because she's not in it. She said that she was banned. She goes onto her podcast and she moans about not being allowed to be celebrating Princess's birthday and being filmed and doing her filming stuff. Obviously, Katie and Princess off screen have a brilliant relationship. They, they'll see each other like every other mother and daughter. But like when parents are split up, it would be weird if you were hanging around all the time with your ex. Personally, I would say.
I mean, that's the point of breaking up, isn't it? That you're not hanging around with them all the time.
So they would normally do separate birthday bashes between the parents. And it happened that Pete's one was going to be filmed with Princess. And yeah, there is a distinct sort of line that Katie's not involved in that side of. She's on the document. Have you seen this series?
I've seen bits of
I
it,
love
yeah.
it. I really, really love it. Princess comes across so well in it. She's absolutely gorgeous. I think this is me got my kind of therapist hat on a little bit. It must be quite hard for Katie to look at Princess and see her. She's the same age as when she started out with her modelling. She's sort of seeing herself.
Yeah.
I think that's what she's finding harder. And then she said that it's just that she's doing everything I was doing. So Pete isn't even in that equation because I think I get what you're saying about the divorced parents, but this was such an awful split. And, it's reverberated over the years in showbiz, folklore now of how terrible and awful that split was on both sides. And I think that actually, I don't know why Katie wasn't allowed to go and do the modelling stuff. Like, let her go and do a shoot, let her into a certain part of it because that's what she would have loved. I totally get that she is seen unfairly in most people's opinions as a little bit grubby, a little bit unsavoury at points. And I get the pain. I think the way she handled it maybe could have been better, but that's very Katie Price. Katie is outspoken. She is going to say what she feels and she doesn't really care who hears it.
Yeah, saying ruffling feathers, it doesn't even match up, does it really?
She's like an eagle batting her wings.
It was a bomb that went off because Peter Andre, for the first time in about 16 years, suddenly opens up and says, to the world about how difficult it has been for him to be silent about Katie. I get where you're coming from about the modelling stuff because obviously that is Katie's bread and butter and that's what she was saying. She just wants to be there to sort of give all the advice. But I think there's so much that's gone on behind the scenes that Peter was then sort of talking about in his statement and saying that, the kids have always been living with him since like 2018 for their safety. And I think that's an important part of the story that we haven't been able to share, we haven't written about. So going forward, I don't know what happens now because there's legal action coming from every angle.
Well, this is the thing. This week, Reid entered the chat. So Peter had opened the floodgates and now all of Katie's exes have decided to share their truth in this. So Ellie, talk to us about what Alex did.
I mean, Reid finally coming out of his box was a bit shocking because he doesn't really do that much. And I remember seeing that. I was on the train and being like, oh my God, like what is he doing now? And then watching that video, my toes were curling because you think, why are you doing this? Like, this is just, he knew how damaging it was. And he knew exactly what he was doing by posting it. Yeah. And obviously, for people that haven't watched the video, it showed Katie sitting in what appeared to be a living room with Princess on the sort of edge of the sofa. And she was counting wads of cash, talking about how she was in the middle of her bankruptcy. And actually, she was claiming in this video she was delaying the proceedings further. Now, I mean, it was bombshell. It did insane traffic in terms of numbers on our websites. All people were talking about on social media and TikTok. Now, her team came back with a very, very punchy and firm response to that. You know, they said that video had been shared with Katie's trustee in the bankruptcy, and actually it wasn't her money. The property she was talking about was something that had already been settled. Katie's side thought this was very much a setup, and it was just Alex sort of sticking a knife in the back. I personally agree. I do think it was Alex throwing a knife in the back. It's almost, I feel like the way Pete came out was really gracious. He wrote a really measured statement, which again, didn't say anything nasty about Katie. It just set the record straight of a couple of things he wanted to set right. That's a classy way of dealing with it. Alex Reid doing some sort of like Hollywood production video, The Truth, that made me watch for ages because I was like, get to the truth. Like, what is this? And like the dramatic music. Like
highly anticipated statement,
I was
think
like,
was the wording.
Just say it, Alex. And then see it and you think, well, that is pretty bombshell.
Yeah.
It didn't need the interlude. And I think
he wanted to be in it, though. He wanted his face to be in the video that we then put on the website.
He is the main character in this story.
I think we just have these moments, don't we, in what we do, where quite often we're the ones sharing these things. So we'll know about them before they go live to the world and this kind of thing. But sometimes something drops on social media, which blows our minds. And this was one of those moments because I remember I dropped it in our G chat that we have going, oh my God, this is wild. And we were all, it was after work, wasn't it? So we were all reacting. And I think the world collectively that care about this kind of thing, were just really shocked that the side which had felt silent for so long was suddenly speaking up. So are we going to hear from other men in Katie's life? What's the sitch?
I think Katie's really hoping that the other men in her life just stay in their boxes and don't come out. Like, nobody wants to hear from Leandro Penna, you know.
I forgot about him. Throwback.
Well, there are a few, you know, she's had a colourful love life and, you know, she's dated a lot of men like most women have. You know, we've all got skeletons in our closet.
Absolutely.
If every one of my exes came out, I'm sure they'd have some quite colourful things to say about me too. But no, I feel like I sort of spoke to Katie's team this morning. They said, you know, she's calm, she's surrounded by her friends and family, which for Katie I think is really important. She is no stranger to having a very colourful life, a very up and down life, and she's been really open about that. So I feel for Katie in times like this, she needs her family and friends more than ever. But it's calm, and as ever, it's all in the hands of the lawyers.
And I would defend Katie in saying that, you know, your exes who wouldn't have been famous unless they had gone out with you coming out. I mean, come on, it's pathetic. Everyone can see through that. There's a lot of people who try to make money off of her name, and that part of it isn't fair. But we just have to provide the balance of sort of, I think with the Pete stuff, that's what is really juicy. They were married. It was her big true love. And this whole fallout between, you know, him and her over their daughter is huge. It's like one of my favourite showbiz stories.
Do you know what I noticed when I interviewed her the other day? She refers to him as my ex-husband. So I don't know whether that's just a conscious decision that she's made to just not, you know, he who shan't be named.
Oh, she doesn't actually say his name?
I don't know whether it's just the way that she talks about him, but I thought it was interesting.
But then you'd have to be quite specific because she's been married 3 times. So she'd have to say, which one? Which one is it?
But I love that. And what you said's so true. Like, so many people have, you know, ridden roughshod over her and used her and abused her for so many years. And it's such a fascinating tale. Like you say, bringing it back to the princess and the Pete stuff and all of this and how it's all kicked off. It is fascinating.
What's Pete's side saying now that Alex has come out?
So they just want to move. This is talking to sort of people behind the scenes. They just really want to move on away from this circus. You know, Pete put that statement together and now he just wants to get on. He didn't want this distraction away from Princess's soaring career. She is going to do brilliantly. I've spoken to so many agents who just look at her and think, God, I'd wish I'd signed her. You know, she is going to make so much money. She's got the look, she's clever, she's very funny, she's got a great personality. I actually spoke to her recently when I was interviewing Pete at their home. And so when I've been watching the show, I've been like, oh, oh, I know where that is in the kitchen. Oh, they offered to make me a tea from that kettle.
Oh.
And I've
Showbiz baby.
Showbiz, exactly. But they are a very normal family. I think when you're around them and you see, you know, it's kind of crazy to read all of this and watch all of this drama unfold, because actually behind the scenes, they just are really normal. They're just bickering and messing around and cooking pasta in the kitchen. They were just so down to earth and ordinary. They don't want this circus.
Can I ask you guys a question though? And this is conjecture and speculation. Is this whole circus a publicity stunt gone wrong? So was the theory that if Katie piped up about something that upset her, that would feel quite natural, that would bring lots of attention to the fact that the series was going to be playing? It's worked. The ratings are a lot higher than what you usually expect for ITV2 in that slot, but it's all gone a bit wrong. What do we think?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past anyone to create a publicity stunt, but if it is, it's gone so horribly wrong. Sack the publicist who came up with that idea, because it's dreadful. But then we're all still talking about it, and it's rolled out of control. But, I don't know. Katie's never going to be quiet. She will never sit there quietly. If something's irritated her, she's going to go on a podcast, she's going to go on Instagram, and she's going to say it's ticked her off. So I think you're always going to have this amazing, you know, foghorn ticking time bomb with her. But I think... No, I don't think it was a publicity stunt. I don't.
And I think it's taken so long for Pete to actually speak out that...
But maybe he spoke out because it had gone so wrong.
I mean, it's not like it was going unnoticed, this show. I mean, Princess is already very big with her sort of peers, you know, on TikTok. And
ITV put some cash behind that as well, because the advertising drive and push for that was big, because I kept seeing it every single time I watched the telly.
Yeah.
So we are interested in her. And it's strange now, though, isn't it? Like thinking that we've been reporting on Katie and Peter, and now we're writing about their children.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of
it makes you feel
a
really
moment.
old.
Yeah. Crikey. Well, I mean, I'm sure we'll be talking about this for years to come. We'll be there, sat here with our purple rinses probably still. A family who are getting on a lot better. Let's chat about the Gallaghers.
Yeah.
Because what brotherly rift? It's gone, right?
It has been absolutely amazing. I think I said in this show before, seeing them in Cardiff and watching them out arm in arm, you know, and you can tell the magic. But for me, what I saw and over all the gigs that I've been to and all the sort of coverage I've seen is that Noel's the one who gets really emotional. We always knew that Liam wanted this reunion. It was always Noel sort of holding back. And so to see him welling up on certain songs and feeling the emotion, they're sharing jokes on stage. But then, so he was in our building, he was up on TalkSport, and they were talking to him. And he just basically said, I just love being back in this band. And actually being with Liam's amazing. And it feels so good. And talking about the jelly legs he had when he first went out on stage. Because I think if there was anyone who was a bit nervous about this, it was always Noel. He was always the one who was maybe dragging his heels a bit more. Now he's absolutely loving life. And what rift. And we saw those amazing pictures. Peggy finally went to a show, which was so special to see. Peggy and Anais as well, sort of cuddling up in that picture they put on Instagram. And I think no rift. I mean, they're still, let's be honest, they're not having a bag of chips afterwards. The show finishes, they go their separate ways. That works for them.
It's working. And there was that lovely quote, which was the one that really stood out for me, which was, I forgot how funny Liam was, which is really nice, isn't it? So they're at that point where it's not just pleasantries, obviously.
I know, I think this tour is going to roll and roll. So we knew when this first came out, obviously we had the story for 4 months before, and we just couldn't get it over the line because of all the NDAs that have been signed, and not a single person wanted to squeal, which was incredibly frustrating. And we know that as soon as it got booked and as soon as those tour dates were in, that there were more tour dates being lined up, and we were just waiting. But every step of the way, it's been, no, it's not happening. Nothing past this tour. Nothing past this tour.
So what's happening, Ellie?
We know that our plans past this tour. Knebworth's the one that everyone is talking about, the 30th anniversary in 2026. They'll go back to Knebworth. And from day one, we've been told they will try and beat Robbie's. Well, they will beat Robbie's record. So they want to do 4 Knebworths. It's easy. Wow. They fill it. There'll be no issue. If you think 10 million people tried to get tickets for this tour.
Yeah.
God. The thirst is there. And I think they're having so much fun. They're going to let it carry on. So obviously we know the tour ends later this year. They are going to take a break. Of course they are. They're going to go on holiday. Liam will go to the south of France. Noel will chill out, relax. He's already back in the studio working on new music. Not possibly Oasis, but maybe. Who knows?
Oh,
definitely sort of more high-flying bird stuff.
Yeah.
And you just know the offers are there. So I went out with a really well-placed contact at a promoter, and I put to him that we'd heard about this idea of them doing a residency at the Etihad.
Man City Stadium. And I'd sort of been told, there are no plans. Well, initially, when we asked about the reunion, they said there was no reunion. So you have to take everything with a pinch of salt. And when I asked this person, can you see this happening? And the great standard reply, and they're very helpful when I sort of normally ask them these sort of questions, they said, I can see that happening, which means it's happening. It's a Showbiz Fix exclusive, guys.
It's definitely happening. I mean, like, the fans want it to happen. We know it's happening. Like, there's no way they won't carry this on.
Oh my God.
Just because of the sheer number of people who weren't able to get tickets and who want to see them.
And people will go again, right?
Oh, I go again.
I mean, we know people who've been multiple times.
Kelly Allen.
Kelly Allen.
Kelly Allen has been many times.
Kelly.
She's warming up those bag of chips for the Gallaghers, isn't she?
She's seen them she's seen them in 2 different countries now, 3 different countries.
Yes,
she's everywhere.
But again, like the historical vibes of the fact that they're at Knebworth again and all that kind of thing.
It has been such a cultural moment. And I think like being a part of it and seeing how emotional everyone's got from it, it was actually lovely hearing Noel speak so fondly of Liam. It felt like that full circle moment of, because I did feel that. I was one of the cynical ones that was worrying that maybe they would end up falling out during the tour and it wouldn't go on. And the fact that it's ended up like this, where that brotherly bond is sort of slowly coming back again, forming again. It's just, it warms your heart, because there's a lot of bad news out there at the moment. It's just nice to have that.
I know.
That's exciting news. Thank you, Ellie. I'm so, like, get us on that list now to go watch it.
I know.
Oh my God, it's impossible. Like, people, I became like Ticketmaster. I'm like Ticketmaster most of the time in my job. I get tickets. And like, they were so strict, because I remember speaking to the team who were working with Oasis, like how they were like, no freebies. Nothing. There were, I think, just over 40 press tickets for the first night. That was it. And if you got onto one of the Gallagher brothers guest lists, you still had to pay for your tickets. There are no freebies.
I like that though.
I do like that.
It keeps it fair.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
that down to earth, and they want their real fans there.
Exactly. It's not like some of those other tours we've seen where, boxes and things are just filled with people that only know one song and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Right. Elsewhere in Showbiz, Strictly has kicking off. We've got rehearsals underway. We know the lineup. But already there's mad drama. Ellie, Monday, you had an amazing splash about how Chris Robshaw, rugby ace, is being harassed by a female stalker.
Yeah, it's been really, really tough for Chris and his wife Camilla. So ultimately, he was going on to Strictly. He was super excited to be there. And then it sort of came out that this has been rumbling on for a long time. So yeah, Chris and Camilla are having a terrible time at the sort of hands of this female. She's a stalker, ultimately, has been harassing him for over a year. And actually, when Strictly approached Chris to come on and said, come on, we'd love to have you, he almost didn't do it. It was only when his son Wilding said, but Daddy, I want to watch Mummy laughing at you dance, that he said, okay, do you know what, I'll do it. And the BBC have been amazing, Strictly have been amazing in supporting him. But yeah, sort of to keep it simple, he met this woman at a work event. He met her twice, barely for any time, both at work events. And after that, she's just gone all out to make his life an absolute misery. So there's been threats of violence. She's made threats against him and his family, spreading lies, rumours as well about his wife. And this woman hasn't just targeted them. They've sort of been working with the police and have found out that actually this woman has targeted a number of people, whether it's high profile or just others, and is basically just like a life ruiner. I mean, it's absolutely terrifying. When I was talking to people about this and the sort of hell they've been through, you think how scary to have that in your life. And so she was arrested on caution. Well, she was arrested by the police in December, released on caution, carried on, hasn't been, they've not been able to stop her. So the police are actively looking for her and are trying to help as much as possible. But I went out for lunch with someone, with Howell earlier this week, and we talked about what had happened then. And she said that she'd had issue with a male stalker, and we talked about it. And I was just like, so scary when that happens in your life. And there's nothing you can do to stop these people. No. You can't stop them ringing your employers and spreading lies or talking to your family or saying things. And it's how do you stop this horrendous wave of nasty enough being directed at you.
Yeah.
But I mean, the BBC have been super supportive. He's carrying on. He's, I've heard he could be quite tasty on the dance floor, because I did ask, is he a little wooden? Because the sportsman is always interesting.
Yeah.
So you've got Jimmy Floyd and you've got Chris, who are the sportsmen, but apparently they're both quite nifty footsmen.
Oh,
Yeah.
And competitive. It always gets them that drive. They just don't want to lose, so they just end up hitting the rehearsal floor a lot longer than the other people.
I think the other thing that's happened on Strictly, which have people worried about about the Strictly, is the series cursed? Is Nadia Bichkova, our fave, injured?
Yes, this
So
wild.
we don't know yet if that means that she won't have a partner. Who knows? But now she might be out of the running to have a partner because of that. I feel like every time we talk about Strictly, we sort of talk about the bad things, but viewers still love it. So this week for TV Biz, we revealed the NTA's shortlist. So this is all chosen by viewers, and now they'll be voting for their winners. And Strictly is still up there with the most nominations. I sometimes feel like this show is the ultimate cockroach in that whatever happens away from the show, all people really want to do is watch people dance.
But nothing changes. I think every scandal, mainly revealed in our newspaper, every single big story surrounding it, people still love to watch it because it's not as if the scandal's playing out on screen. When you turn Strictly on, it's all, some teeth and it's just fun. And you can sit down with your kids, get your paddles out and shout, it's a 10 from Len.
Yeah.
Len.
Oh, Len.
No, Len. But that's the thing, that hasn't changed. It is just feel-good Saturday night television where there's always someone absolutely to laugh at. There's always a story and then there's always someone who's just amazing from the start and you think you're going to win.
Yeah.
It's just an easy formula. Winter is here. Get a mulled wine and watch Strictly.
I have friends that whenever we do a story about Strictly or some sort of scandal that's happened, being like, can you just stop? Just stop because you are ruining our show.
Oh.
And I'm like, sorry about earning a living.
But also, it's not our fault. We have to report on it.
Well, quite.
Stop being bad. Stop sleeping with each other. Stop allegedly taking cocaine or other white
Stop
substances.
doing anything alleged.
Yeah, exactly. Lose all the allegedlys.
Yeah.
Go train, dance, out.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is it so difficult?
It's not hard.
As Taylor Swift says, if you don't want people to say bad things about you, don't do bad things. So
The
there we
Queen
go.
has spoken. There we go.
Speaking of further headaches for the BBC, Hugh Edwards.
Oh my gosh.
Another
Crack the
one.
Prosecco out, Hugh.
Well, quite. So this week, the pictures of him that we had in today's paper, Hugh with his mini Proseccos.
Gave me the ick. Sorry, little
When did
Proseccos. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, rewind. Why do you need mini Proseccos to give you the ick about Hugh Edwards?
Well, okay, not about Hugh, but just in general. If I saw
Fine.
any guy carrying
Mini Prosecco.
I'm like, no. Like, I would have that in 30 seconds. We need big. I'm talking
That's a shot.
magnums. Yeah, that's a shot. What are you doing with little mini?
Drink responsibly.
Prosecco?
I mean, I think it's a kick in the teeth that, the licence fee payer,
Well,
as we
quite.
all are, that he can afford a Magnum of Prosecco with the £200,000. He's still not
Yeah,
paid
Yeah.
back.
So also this week, I did some real journalism, guys. Freedom of information request, which is something that you can do to any kind of government body, including the BBC. And it revealed that a year on, since being formally requested, Hugh has still not given back that 200k. So this was basically what was formally requested for the time after he was arrested, so that he was still earning his whopping BBC wage during that time. And the BBC said Hugh Edwards has not returned any money paid to him by the BBC after his arrest in respect of his work for any BBC public service or the BBC's commercial operations. Now, the last that we'd heard of it was Samir Shah, the chairman of the BBC, had spoken about it in the House of Commons in March, saying that Hugh was unwilling and refusing to give back the money.
I think it's foul. And I think for me, it just shows what person he is. Pay back your money. Just pay it back. Why are you holding on to it?
Yeah.
I can't even see it from his side because I just think, give it back. Let everyone just move on. Like, what you did was bad.
Horrific.
Like, really bad.
Yeah.
So just get out of everyone's lives and pay your money back.
Yeah. I had a lot of readers email me after we ran that story about the 200k saying, why can't the BBC get it back? Why does he have to give it back? And I looked into the law on all of this, and essentially there's been no fraud here. There's been no misrepresentation. He didn't lie to achieve the job or have any sort of enrichment. So there is no legal grounding for the BBC having this back, which is why we're talking about them requesting it.
Well, it's but it's moral, isn't it? And I think this is Hugh Edwards showing that he still has zero morals. What morals he may have had are completely dead and gone. You have no moral code. You are morally corrupt.
It is fascinating, seeing him out and about and just carrying on. And that's, his the victims have to still live their lives. And then to see him just there with his little mini bottles of Prosecco and using that money that he should be giving back and can't be forced into doing, it is sickening, and it makes you, I think, just like sort of question everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of anger around it. Also from the BBC employees there that we're hearing who are facing job cuts in the news division. There's lots of mergers going on between departments, so they're facing losing their jobs, and instead there's this man that's just sat on all this money, and it's hard to sort of square that circle, isn't it?
Maybe he could buy them a mini bottle of Prosecco.
Maybe a big one.
You're getting redundant.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so one of my favourite things that Ellie and the Bizarre team do in the world famous column is what we call a biz blind. So this is when we have tea so steaming hot we cannot possibly share it as a story, but we can give you some hints as to who the person is and what they have done. And Ellie, you're going to bring us some biz blinds, aren't you?
I do love a biz blind, because this is when, I get a lot of emails in, a lot of letters in about the column, but these are the ones that I know that I'll have people texting me being like, who is this? With some correct guesses.
Suddenly you become really popular, don't you? When there's a story that we haven't named the person, suddenly your phone's blowing up and you're like, I haven't heard from you for a while.
Yeah, well, your BBC penis picture. If I can say penis.
What a sentence.
That had everyone.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Yeah.
And I love when I text back wrong names.
So are we gonna try and guess some of your blinds?
Yeah, so have a little guessy guess. So this actually came in from you, so I think we'll have to put this one on you because you sent me this one, so you know exactly who it is. Getting a gift from your other half can be super romantic, but when household name blanked started to woo one of his many glamorous lovers, one woman got a very big surprise when he popped a bag of his and hers cocaine on the table during a date. Given it wasn't the kind of bag she might have hoped for from a potential boyfriend, maybe an Hermes or a Louis Vuitton, she duly dumped this very handsome television star. The only way is up the nose in Essex, clearly. This one had so many people messaging me. And I disliked this person, so I sent their name straight back. And they were all like, oh yeah, should have guessed that.
Wow.
Because
I've got many theories.
Yeah. Okay.
Love that.
This one really made me laugh, actually. So this one made me chuckle because this is from my friend who literally rang me and was like, I have just seen blanked in my pub. He told me this. So the hedonistic days of Britpop are long gone, but it seems the lines between past and present are a bit blurred for this former chart topper. My pal spotted blanked in a North London pub buying rounds of pints and shot for strangers before getting on his hands and knees. I mean, it is a man. I'll give you that. It is a man. Getting on his hands and knees to feed them dog treats. This man is so famous. So famous. Like, everyone would recognise him.
Why has he got dog treats on his person?
He was literally getting dog treats in his mouth and feeding my friend's dog treats.
Oh my God, hedonistic.
Because he was buying the rounds in. And when I say rounds, I mean like he rang me with a big hangover to be like, you will never guess who got us so drunk in the pub. Bananas.
I love that.
Can we wrap this up so we can find out who it is?
Do you want one more?
One more.
This is a corker. And we had to make this so vague because we thought it was very obvious who it was. So it's incredibly vague. A big name British pop star raised eyebrows at a huge music show in the capital over the weekend. This was a few weekends ago. After she was spotted in a cleaning cupboard next to the toilets. What are you doing in a cleaning cupboard? Household name blanked was on a big night out with her pals when she popped into the broom closet and stood there on her Todd while everyone else stood outside in the VIP area.
Ooh.
Maybe she wanted to do some hoovering, someone asked. So yes.
Oh.
So why would you leave all your friends and just nip quickly into a broom cupboard where no one could see you and there aren't any cameras?
Just for a little quiet time.
For a quick hoover.
Just get your hoover out.
Wow. Juicy.
Honestly, they're my favourite.
Ellie, your phone's going to be blowing up again. I'd love to hear if... Well, no, we'll talk about this after.
Oh, God.
Okay, let's go to the far more pedestrian bin or binge.
Yes.
How do we follow those biz boys? Amanda, what are you binning this week?
Binning Katie Price for all of the things that have just just talked about. I think, yeah, sorry, Katie, but yeah.
Fair.
Rubbish in the bin.
Short but sweet. Okay, binging.
Binging Dua Lipa and her turning 30 in so much style. It's her just having about 57 parties, which is so me. And if I had as much money and glamour as Dua, then I would so be doing the same. She's been on private jets, had countless birthday cakes, the gowns that she's been wearing, unreal. And just having the time of her life with her fiance and friends. I adore her.
Yeah, goals, birthday goals, 100%. Ellie, binning.
I'm binning Madonna's heavy use of Facetune.
Oh.
I love you, Madge. You're the queen of pop, but someone's going to have some wrinkles. Like, she literally doesn't look like Madonna on Instagram because she's just celebrated her birthday, her 67th. But oh, Madge, it's like Jack, lay off the Facetune. Jack would not hate me for saying that because he uses Facetune. Because he saves his pictures as Facetune.jpg.
That's cheaper than probably what Madge is doing, though.
Well, that's the thing. Well, I
Yeah.
think Madge has possibly, maybe, had some help.
At least Facetune is free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are you binging?
I am binging Robbie Williams.
Oh.
Just loving him. This great resurgence, obviously, Britpop, new album out October 10th. You can pay me a tenner later, Robbie. Human, which is an amazing new song he's done with Chris Martin. Like, he was on stage in Newcastle the other night, and the footage is absolutely amazing when he's like egging on the Geordies. It's just, Robbie's so fun. He's great to be around. Yeah, and this album's good. Britpop has some little belters on it.
Oh, it's called Britpop.
Yeah, it's called Britpop.
I thought you were like, he's Britpop.
No, Robbie's new album, Britpop.
That's clever.
Out October 10th. Robbie again. I'll have a tenner. Yeah, it's a great album. And it's just, Robbie does what he does best when he's on stage performing live. And I feel like there's going to be a tour to support Britpop and it will just be incredible.
I think after watching Better Man, I'm like so in the Robbie mood now. So yeah, hearing new album coming out, I think it's going to be amazing. Love him.
My bin has a Madonna flavour as well, but more specifically, Labubus. So I think it's that thing where something is trendy and then all the kids get it and then Madonna gets it. So she had a Labubu themed birthday cake. And I feel like when someone who's 67 has a birthday cake of something, surely the trend is dead.
It was also called a Mabubu, which really made me laugh. But like Pixie Lot's having a Labubu like pop-up concert. Because I
Yeah.
kept seeing them on people's bags and I just thought they were strangers, so I just gave them a wide berth.
Do you know what, for
But it's
me,
a trend.
my nieces, they're big into Labubus and are constantly convinced that their very fake £5 version from the village shop is real. They convince each other of it. But they went on holiday to Spain recently and the sellers on the beach weren't doing the designer handbags and stuff or any of the stuff that they usually do. They all just were doing fake Labubus. And when you
Who's
think...
buying them? That's
well, apparently everyone apart from us. But I'm bidding them.
I judge anyone who carries a Labubu on their bag. And some of my friends do, and I'm sorry for judging you, but
we're judging you.
yeah, heavy
Maybe your
judging.
friends need to go in the bin as well.
And all my friends who have Labubus.
Yeah. So there we go. Let's just stop. Let's just think of the planet, the plastic, no.
Or just the fact that they're just ew.
Well,
Why?
each
That's probably-
their own. But like, if Madonna's having a birthday cake of it, I think we're probably done. I am binging. I'm just so excited to show you this. And I know I'm among a Love Island friend here, slightly less so from Ellie, but I've got something really exciting to show you all, which is Fabulous Magazine this weekend have the big 3.
Oh, that's a great shoot as well.
So
brilliant.
this basically is coming out this weekend in the Sun on Sunday. Now, I don't know whether you saw the shoot with ID magazine that the girls did. It was super stylized, really edgy, very fashiony. Didn't go down particularly well with some areas of the Love Island fandom because I think it was just a bit too edgy.
There's a lot of really heavy black eyeliner, wasn't there? Yeah.
Fabulous have done the girls like the Kardashians, which is just, their whole thing was the sisterhood and all this. They look amazing. Now, Kelly Allen has done a super chat with them all, and I'm just going to tease you a couple of the lines from it because this was their first interview that they did out of the villa. So they came and chatted to Kelly. They did it before they did ID. And And I just think some of these lines are so lovely. We've got them before they've become jaded, which I think really comes across. We're in a group chat with Cara Delevingne. She wants us to go to Ibiza with her for her birthday.
No way!
I know, which is just deserved. And then the other thing which I thought was really nice is Yaz is talking about how, people think it cost her the win when she said that she didn't want to have children and that wasn't in her future. She says, no regrets on that. I can appreciate other people's children. I'll be the fun, rich auntie. I just know that I don't want to have my own, and that's okay. You're not a monster for thinking that way.
Good for her.
And it's such an important conversation, and that's why things like Love Island is so important. Anyway, full chat coming out in Fabulous this weekend, and I am binging this bad boy. So many great shots of them all as well.
Do you know what? Maybe I will rethink. I will read that and maybe rethink my opinion of Love Island then.
These gals, incredible.
That shoot is amazing.
Really.
They were the best to come out of it this year, weren't they?
Exactly. Lovely stuff. Right, well, that's your Showbiz Fix for this week, and you can get a whole lot more telly and entertainment tidbits if you subscribe here at the Sun Showbiz on YouTube, and you can hear us in your ears wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week.